As a cannabis dispensary owner, you're continually trying to find new ways to grow your revenue. You've probably added new products or brands, tried text message marketing, and maybe you even have heard about sales commission programs, but never really took the time to implement one or even model it out. Well, you're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps to developing your sales commission program, including setting sales hurdles and commission percentages, as well as calculating, allocating, and distributing the incremental revenue. Now, if you need help with setting up the financial or accounting systems for your cannabis business, then please reach out to us via our website at greengrowthcpas.com or give us a call at 800-674-9050. Let's jump right in. First, how can a commission program help your dispensary? Well, it's a twofold benefit. First, it can increase your employee retention and incentivize your workforce while actually improving your bottom line. And since commissions are a monetary payout based on sales performance, your employees will feel empowered to control at least a portion of their paycheck. And dispensary owners will benefit from the increased revenue from their staff's cross-selling efforts. Essentially, it's a win-win. Secondly, unmotivated bud tenders typically give a less than ideal experience to their customers. Now, with the commission program, your customers are more likely to receive excellent service, as your bud tenders are actively addressing the customer's entire set of needs by asking questions, making recommendations, because now everyone's incentives are aligned. Next, let's get into the nuts and bolts of setting up a sales commission program for your cannabis dispensary. And again, I've broken it down into 5 major steps, which are setting the sales hurdles, setting commission percentages, calculating the payouts, allocating the commissions to each employee, and then distributing the cash. Step number 1 is setting a sales hurdle. But first, what is a sales hurdle? Well, for a cannabis dispensary, a sales hurdle is the minimum amount of sales that you want to attain before actually offering the commission incentive. Before the commission actually kicks in, dispensary staff should first reach their minimum sales goal or sales hurdle. And because, all employees have a base salary and a standard level of job performance that's expected, it's essential to set the goal and pay commission above and beyond this sales threshold and not on the top line gross revenue sales. Not only does this actually entice your staff to work a bit harder, but you get your base projected sales while at the same time creating a mutual incentive for your bud tenders to drive more sales. Next, let's look at how to set a sales hurdle in 3 easy steps. And this is best shown with a tangible example. And again, our goal is to find a daily sales hurdle. So, for example, we're gonna look at a $1.8 million dispensary, and that's their annual sales. You divide that by 12, and that'll give you $150,000 in monthly sales. That $150,000 divided by 30 days is a $5,000 average daily sales threshold if every day was equal. Now, you may be asking, should the sales threshold be different for weekdays and for weekends? And in short, the answer is yes. And this answer is pretty standard across all retail industries, as weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are generally busier, and therefore they're going to produce more revenue. So for most dispensaries, the sales threshold should increase maybe 15 to 30% on weekends compared to the overall average. And this also means you need to dial down the weekdays from that average as well. But be sure to work with your accountant or your financial analyst to ensure that the thresholds actually reflect higher sales numbers on the weekend, as well as any seasonality shifts between the different months. And in this example, the overall average, if every day was equal, is $5,000 per day. Well, weekdays could be $4,500 and weekends could be $5,800 per day. Step number 2 is setting commission percentages. Now, although there are no specific rules that you actually have to follow, we can provide some general guidelines to keep your dispensary competitive within the rest of the market. Now, first, we recommend that managers and bud tenders have a different structure or percentage, since they play a different role in generating revenue. And obviously, this can vary depending on how the job responsibilities are outlined within your business. But for bud tenders, generally you can offer commissions of 5 to 7% of sales that are over that sales threshold. And for managers, it's typically, good to offer 1 or 2% of sales that are over that sales hurdle. Now, in many instances, by giving employees more control over their earnings potential, dispensaries can see a higher retention rate and have more buy-in from the employees on the vision of the business. This brings us to step number 3, which is calculating monthly commission payouts. Now, to make this very concrete, let's take a look at an example for 1 month of sales commissions for this same dispensary, all right? Now, I use round numbers to make this easier to grasp. Of course, actual sales and real numbers won't be as clean and uniform, but again, for illustrative purposes only, all right? Now, the dispensary we're gonna look at has a 5% commission structure for budtenders and a 1% commission for the management. So here's what's important to notice. In column E, this is the target monthly sales, and that is $151,200. And the average breakdown for weekdays and weekends in column E is $4,500 and $5,800 respectively. Now, column D, the total actual daily sales were $204,000 at the end of the month, and daily totals are recorded each day at the close of business. In column F is the difference between the target and the actual sales figures. Column G and H are the calculated commissions, 5% for the budtenders, 1% for the managers. Now, this commission, again, is over the sales hurdle, also known as excess sales, which you can find in column F. The basic example shows the potential effects that incentivizing your staff can have on your sales and profits. So next, let's take a closer look at actually where the money goes. So the dispensary went from $151,200 in target sales to $204,000 in actual sales, increasing their revenue by nearly $53,000. Now, to find the profit, subtract the cost of goods sold, which for this dispensary is 55%, so $52,800 times 55% is $29,040 in COGS. Lastly, you can then pay out your commissions totaling $3,168, and that results in a $20,592 increase in profit per month. Now, you may be asking, are sales commissions deductible under IRC 280E? Well, depending on your employee's time and how it's allocated and who's actually getting the commission bonuses, these payouts may not be deductible under 280E. Now, portions of employees' regular wages are often deductible in some percentage. However, we recommend seeking the advice of one of our cannabis accountants to find out if you can deduct these incentive programs as well. Eligibility should be reviewed on a case-by-case basis depending on your business structure, your business vertical, and many other different factors. Step number 4 is how to allocate the actual commissions to your employees. Now, with allocations, there are 2 general methodologies here. Number 1 is the pooled commission method, and this is by far the simplest way to get started. And with this method, commissions kind of grow all month, and they're distributed to employees based on the number of hours that each employee works relative to the total amount of hours. So, for example, if an employee worked 5.3% of the total budtender hours, they would receive the same percentage of the budtender payout pool. Second, you have a performance-based method with tiered options. Now, this structure is a bit more complex, and it pays per person based on specific receipt sales and likely requires automated processes to make this easily trackable. And with this model, you can also set additional tiers to pay out maybe higher percentages to employees that are outperforming their peers. And the results from this type of program or payout structure are highly informative when conducting annual reviews, promoting employees, or training new employees. For dispensaries that are just starting out with an incentive program, we highly recommend the pooled commission method. It's relatively fair, there are some low days and some high sales days, but generally things even out over the pay period. And it can help create a strong team dynamic versus the individualized mindset for your staff. Lastly, step number 5 is distributing the commissions. Now, some dispensaries opt for including their commissions in the regular bi-weekly or monthly paycheck, but what we tend to recommend is to create a second or separate paycheck specifically for the commissions, or at least to itemize it in your payout paperwork. Now, this is for 2 main reasons. Number 1, it's cleaner for the accounting purposes, and number 2, employees will see an exact direct pay for their incremental effort. Now, what about how often to distribute your commissions? Well, we advise our clients not to distribute daily commissions as there's just too much administrative work involved with each payout, and employees are more motivated when they see a higher amount. For example, instead of receiving $8 to $10 per day, employees can receive an additional $200 to $300 per month, which typically proves to be a bit more enticing. Just a little bit of psychology that can work in a big way for you and your business. Now, while cannabis operators are suffering alongside other non-cannabis businesses, especially in the retail sector, the development of an incentive program has proven successful in generating more revenue and improving employee retention efforts. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that it's brought you some value in understanding around commission structures for dispensaries. Now, if you need help with this or anything else related to the financial performance of your cannabis business, then please schedule a free consultation with our team today by visiting our website at greengrowthcpas.com or give us a call at 800-674-9050. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.